Alpha.
Hi, I'm Mark Babe and I'm the Technical Marketing Manager here in the UK and Ireland for Sony's Photo Channel. Now, I caught up earlier with freelance photographer Tess Derry and I asked her the question, what's in your bag?
Hi, I'm Tess Derry. I'm a freelance sports photographer currently working for the Press Association. I've been asked to come here today by Sony to show you what's in my kit bag.
So Tess, you're a freelance photographer for the Press Association where you had the chance to obviously use Sony kit. You've now got Sony kit for yourself. What's in your bag?
So in my bag, firstly I use a Think Tank International, which is really handy for, it's just the right size for flying if you're ever going abroad to do matches or anything like that really. Holds a lot of stuff, so I can fit pretty much all my kit into this bag, which is really handy. Even the 400 fits mounted onto onto my camera body. So if I'm shooting at a football match, for example, first thing I do when I get there is probably put on a 24 to 70 2.8 lens onto the A92 camera body. This would be for getting any sort of pre-match previews of what's happening around the stadium. So fans arriving, pictures of the ground before the game, just general pre-match atmosphere. So I would use that lens and probably this as well. So the 70 to 200 2.8 lens. I'd take two camera bodies out, have a walk around the stadium, and just capture the atmosphere really of what's going on. When it gets sort of close to the actual kickoff, I would be using, again, two camera bodies, the 70 to 200 and the 400 lens. So this is a 400 2.8, again on an A92 body. And that it would be used for general match action and also getting a lot of stock photography. So we are required to basically get shots of all the players, or as many as you can, clean images for use for any stories that go online or anything like that. Like they're used quite a lot. So so the 400 would be for further away action, managers reacting to whatever's going on in the game, and just tracking players and getting stock photography. The 70 to 200 I would probably use for closer shots, so closer action shots, corner kicks, goal shots, and then depending on what is required, if you're not mainly focusing on getting match action, you might choose to use a 70 to 200 and a 24 to 70 and leave the 400 for a while to get more atmospheric shots, fans in the stadium. Sometimes you might get celebrations where players sort of run very close to you, so it's quite good to use depending on how close they are. If they're really close, then the 24 to 70 is really good for that. I also invested in a portrait lens, which I wouldn't use at a match necessarily, but it's more for if you're doing a one-on-one or you want to get a bit sort of close to the subject and a bit more intimate portrait shots, and that's a 1.8 85mm lens. When I am at games, I usually use which I haven't actually brought with me, a MiFi device to wire the images into the office, so that I would just connect up to the cameras on the Wi-Fi, but some stadiums do have Ethernet ports, so I would always carry at least one Ethernet cable. This one's a really short one, so I would usually take a short one and a very long one, because sometimes the ports can be miles away, which is a bit of a nightmare. So it's good to be prepared and have both on you at all times, really. Carrying stuff like chargers for use. Again, most stadiums obviously don't have charging ports pitch side, but in the sort of press rooms beforehand, it's just in case you've had a bit of a nightmare. And I have once left my camera running the night before and then got to a game and the batteries have been not as fresh as they could be, so it's always good to carry one of those. And card readers, SD card reader I have on my laptop, as well as quite a few spare cards. These are tough cards, so they're waterproof and you can pretty much chuck them around and they won't break, so that's good. But yeah, just having a lot of spare cards is definitely advisory, I'd say. And yeah, so then I will carry my laptop everywhere with me, with a card reader attached. It's quite handy to just have it on the actual, like I stick mine to it with blue tack to say that it's not dangling around, because sometimes you're editing pretty much on your lap. So, and obviously the charger for that as well, again for the press rooms, media rooms, and you can charge before and after the game, so always carry that as well. I use a monopod with the 400 lens, which literally just attaches easily like that. It's a pretty lightweight one, just a Manfrotto one, which yeah, is quite essential. Don't forget that one, because yeah, you have to use that with the 400, and if you're using a 300 or similar. Another thing that I use during games is a 1:4 teleconverter, which I will sometimes put onto the 400 lens if I want a bit more depth in the image. So if I want to shoot further afield, so this might be if you're at quite a large stadium. So if you're at Wembley, sometimes the managers can be really far away, and this just gives you that little bit extra to play with, basically. Also, if you're doing stock photography as well, you might put that on to get players that are slightly further away. And at matches as well, I would use one of these, which is a Mini Max stool. Really good for carrying around. I mean, I just sort of clip this onto the top of the case here when I'm moving around, and basically you pull it out like this, and it's an adjustable height, so you can literally have it at any point up here. So if you are certain stadiums, there might be quite high boarding, so if you're behind the advertising boards, you'd need it quite high, so you'd have it fully up. But some stadiums you actually end up sitting pretty much on the pitch, just the other side of the touchline, so then you'd have to have it quite low to the ground, but it just means that you're not sitting on the floor, so that's really, really handy to have one of those. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the kit itself, and I like how pretty much all of this fits into one bag, and also that just clips on the top. And then I would also take an extra bag, like a rucksack or whatever, backpack, which is pretty much just full of waterproofs for both the kit and for me, because obviously shooting in the UK, it's pretty much raining all the time. So it's really important, obviously, to keep everything as dry as possible. As soon as it starts raining, it's not me that's the problem. I would get all the waterproofs out for my kit first, cover that, and then I worry about myself after. So I will take a proper cover for the 400, which covers both the camera and the lens and fits round the lens hood at the end. And then I will take literally maybe a towel sometimes, like a hand towel that I just shove over the 70 to 200. And anything else I've got on my lap, like I'll just take anything that's waterproof basically. I might get 2 covers and then I just put one over my lap and then have maybe a lens underneath that, so it's kept dry and whatever. And also a waterproof for the bag. Think Tank actually comes with a waterproof for it, so that's really good. It keeps your laptop dry and anything else that's inside. And then for me, obviously just everything waterproof trousers that go over the top of your normal trousers and everything like that. So that is what I take to games.
Thanks, Tess. It's a great pleasure talking to you. Thank you for your time. Can you tell us where we can see more of your work?
So if you'd like to see more of my work, you can follow me on Instagram at Tess Derry Photo.
Thanks, Tess, for joining us, and all the best.
Thank you. Bye.